Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. You made it through the week. Well, almost. I know it's in the morning still, but welcome back to Finance Fridays. I'm Asher Benjamin, loan officer with Nexa Mortgage, former teacher, and I'm here every Friday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to answer any questions that I might come across over the week. And hopefully one day when there's a few more live viewers, we can answer questions live. So let's go ahead. I'm going to start the video bumper and then we'll get started on today's question.
It's Finance Friday, Asher in the spot, talking loans, home deals, giving all I got. Rates, hacks, facts, yeah, we keep it real. From first homes to refis, helping you seal the deal. Mortgage talk, but we make it fly. No jargon, just the truth, I'll tell you why. Finance Friday, get your questions in. With Asher on the mic, let the answers begin. Let's break it down.
So yes, happy Friday. And that first question has already popped up. That's okay. Hope you're having a good week. NFL is back. I know it doesn't have to do with Finance Fridays, but I can't be more excited. And as a Bears fan, to be truthful, it just warms my heart when the Packers, the Vikings, and as last night had to have happened, the Lions lose as well. I don't care if it's preseason, postseason. It just makes the day a little bit better. Air's a little bit crisper, and the sun is shining a little bit brighter, right? So today we are going to cover two questions that I reached out to some people just to pick their brains and say, hey, especially these are first-time home buyers, what's something you want to know more about? What's something that I could answer for you? And the first, and honestly, I get this question a lot. Should have covered it last week probably. Should I buy right now? This market's scary. I don't know if it's the right time. You'll hear it in many different ways, but ultimately people are wanting to know, specifically first-time home buyers, is this a market I want to buy into, or should I keep renting and renew my lease for another year or so, right? Let it cool off, let some more calm happen before I dive into home ownership. Now, the hard part about this answer is there is no one size fits all for everybody. That's the first and foremost. Whether you can get into this market or whether you should will depend 100% solely on your specific situation, right? What do I mean by that? Well, if you're struggling to make payments for your rent every single month, maybe it's not the right time, right, to go into home ownership. Because when you go into home ownership, you're not just paying a rent and that's it. You're paying your mortgage, which essentially is rent. You've got homeowners insurance, you've got property taxes. Sometimes you'll have private mortgage insurance. You might be responsible for the HOA now. And oh yeah, if something breaks, you can't just call up your landlord, the person you're renting from, and say, hey, toilet's flooding, can you come fix it? You are now the landlord. So before you even contemplate, should I buy into this market? The market doesn't dictate that. Your situation does, right? And I actually just put a video out, I don't remember if it was this week or last week, on answering this exact question. We touched on it at least, where if you do decide it's the right time, you want to make sure it's within your means in a place that you're not going to be stretched too thin. But on top of that, the market's not going to dictate whether you're going to be able to buy or not. It's going to be your situation. And by the way, that's the same answer I would have given someone 4 years ago when rates were in the twos. Yeah, they might be able to afford more, but at the same time, just because you can doesn't always mean you should. So is it wise to buy in today's market? 100% yes, if it makes sense for your situation. Not because of the market, not in spite of the market, just on your situation alone. Now, if it is the right time, you've got some money saved up for a down payment, the rent isn't an issue to cover every single month because job, thank the Lord, is pretty consistent and stable, absolutely look into buying, right? And especially in this market, to be completely honest, we're kind of in a buyer's market to begin with. So you have more flexibility in what you want to buy. There's more supply than there has been in the past few years. Yeah, rates are higher than they were 4 years ago, but guess what? Rates go up and down consistently. Sometimes in the same day, they can fluctuate 0.25% either direction. So don't worry so much about the rate. You want to make sure that if you're ready to buy, what's that monthly payment look like? Are you going to be able to afford it? Is it going to stretch you too thin? And if those answers are, yeah, we can do it, then this is a great time to buy. If you're, like I said, if you're not ready to take on all the other things that go with home ownership, doesn't matter what the market looks like, renting might still be the best option, right? The other thing to think about is how long are you going to stay here, right? If you're going to buy in Phoenix, if you're going to buy in San Diego, if you're going to buy in Chicago, are you going to live there for the next 3, 5, 7 years? Or is it just temporary while you finish up this internship and then you're going to move somewhere else? Because that's also going to dictate it. You don't want to buy a house for a year and then sell it, because you're going to lose out. Even if the price increased when you sold it, you've got closing costs on both ends, and it's just not worth it. So long way to say buying versus renting. It's a very good time to buy as long as your situation allows it. Hopefully that makes sense. And once again, if there are comments, I am able to see them. So please feel free to post if you'd like on any platform you're watching. And the second question that I was asked to cover this week, how to improve my credit. Now, I'm going to say this first and foremost. I'm not a credit repair specialist. I mean, that's pretty easy to say. I'm a loan officer. I understand credit, but I'm not a specialist. But what I do know is there are some easy steps you can do to improve your credit today. So if you're looking to buy 2-3 weeks from now, 2-3 months from now, a year from now, you're going to be in a much better position. Because remember, loans and rates are going to be based on risk. The bank is going to look at you. How risky are you? And credit score is a factor. And the less risky you are, the better your rate's going to be. The risky you are as a client, the worse your rate's going to be, or the more expensive it's going to be. So what can you do today to improve your credit? There's 3 things everyone can do starting today. First thing's pretty obvious. If you're not already, make payments on time. Even if it's just the minimum monthly payment. Yes, you're going to accrue interest, but missing payments is the surefire way to shoot your credit score in the foot. So start making those payments on time, tackle the debt so that way you can make the full payment, not just the minimum monthly payment, but at the very least, do not miss those monthly minimum payments, right? And if you have in the last couple months, start today. Everything is better if you just start today, baby steps. The second thing you could do, if you can take it a step further, is pay your credit cards and some of that debt down. Not only just having lines of credit, but how much utilization will affect your credit score. Well, what does that mean? It means if I have $1,000 credit limit and I have $900 on that credit card, I'm utilizing 90% of that card currently. In the eyes of a bank or the lender or the bureaus, that's riskier than, let's say, if you had a $100 balance using 10%. So what I like to tell clients, what I like to tell people, especially first-time home buyers, as we're planning 6, 12, 18 months down the road, first, don't miss your payments. But second, pay those credit cards down. If you can get them to that 5 to 10% utilization rate, you're going to be golden. And believe it or not, if you pay off your credit card versus having a smaller balance on it, your score might actually go down a point or two. Not enough to make a big difference, but that 5 to 10% I feel like is attainable, and it's a sweet spot to get your credit score in the best possible position. Cool. And the third thing is make sure that you're not opening tons of debt at every opportunity. I know it's tempting that when you're going to whatever store you like to go to and they say, hey, would you like to open a credit card with us? You'll save 10% today. Okay, 10% sounds good. But if you've got a lot of debt and you're not managing it well already, don't put yourself in a position to take on more debt, essentially. Because remember, credit cards are a form of debt. And if you're not managing what you have already, it doesn't make sense to add more to it. And then alongside that, don't be afraid to keep your credit cards open, even if you're not using them that much. Credit bureaus and the score is going to be also reflected on how long you've had credit lines open, right? Can you manage your debt? Are you living within a suitable range that's not too risky? And how long have you been managing debt for? That history plays a role in your credit score. Now, there are more nuances and more things that go into it, but those are 3, technically 4 things that you could do today to set yourself up in a better position when it comes time to go purchase that first home, second home, first investment, whatever it might be, right? What can you do today so that way when it comes time to buy, well, those are the things you can do. So like I said, I have 2 questions I wanted to tackle this week. I know we're running about 10 minutes, so it's not too long of one. Hope you guys have an excellent week. I will see you again next Friday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you have any questions in the meantime, please leave them in the comments, shoot me a DM, an email, a text, and I'll make a list for next week. Talk to you soon.